Hello, welcome back. I think this is part 13. I don't exactly remember where I left off. I believe I went over the cabinet that I had stripped it, and I think I showed you the fingerprints and whatnot. So before I go and fill this, I wanted to see, there's a couple of dents. I'd gotten a few of them out, and I thought maybe I'd just see if we could get this other one out, and I'll show you what I do. I think I told you I got most the cigarette burn was the hardest to come out, and it's still discolored a bit, but I think when I put the filler in, it'll be blocked, and I will show you the fill I'm going to use. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use a dropper, a little bit of water, put it into, into that hole, and you can use like a soldering iron. Well, that's interesting. Oh, well, I guess this automatically shut off. I had it plugged in. Okay. So we're going to wait a minute for it to heat up. So, as I said, I did get some of the, there were some other dents in there, and there's one up in here I might try again, but this was the big glaring one. I don't feel, there's a little ripple right in here, as you can see from when I sanded it. Normally I wouldn't sand it, but I had worked to get dents out of it, and that causes the grains to raise and they get kind of furry. So I used some 400 grit sandpaper. I also used it to smooth out up here. I think I already went through all of this with you already, but I'm just killing time while my iron heats up. Well, let's see if this will. Oh, there it goes. Alright, let me see. Ooh, you know what? That came up quite a bit. Hopefully you can see that. I wasn't sure. I didn't go over it. I actually just used the steam iron on all the littler dents, but yeah, that dent's come up quite a bit actually. Still not there. Well, maybe the I just didn't want to bring my soldering iron in here. I don't know if I want to hit that again, but I kind of feel on a roll. Let me see if I can do anything with it. You can't see this dent right in here. What the hell? It'll be interesting though. The problem I had with this first time is because it's at an angle. You know, that it's working out. I don't know, maybe I missed these the first time. They're coming out right away. a little bit more here. I know where these two came from. I banged them on the door jamb when I was bringing them in after I stripped it. Alright, let me try to hit this one more time. By the way, the reason I brought you guys into the bathroom is that, well, A, it's dark. Earlier there was a pool party going on. And there's a lot more light in this room, so. Well, you know, that dent is just about out of there. Alright, I may hit that one more time. Let's see here. Hopefully you can see that, oh no, I lost it. Oh, there it is. That the drop of water and the instant hitting it with the heat is a very good way of dents out of wood. And I would say that pretty much takes care of that dent. There's still a little bit of it left, but I don't want to push it anymore. So what I'm going to do is let this dry out. I'll run the 400 grit across it again because it's the grain's kind of furry, suede. It's like suede a little bit. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to mix my own fill this time, so I will be right back. Welcome back. This is the second segment, I believe. It's been a couple weeks actually since I filmed the first one. So what I wanted to show you was that I'm going to use the Old Masters oil-based grain filler. With this one, unlike the Mohawk that I've used in the past, this has finer filling bits. It's a creamier thing. This comes in a natural, and you need to thin it out with stain. So I'm going to try the dark mahogany. Normally you would use the deep penetrating stain, but they didn't have any of the mahogany in that. Wiping stain is okay. The only one they suggest that they don't say you can't use it, but they give you a little chart, and the least desirable is their gel stain. So this gets mixed in a ratio of 2 parts filler, 1 part stain. So I'm going to go ahead and crack that open and mix some up and show you what it looks like. Alright, before I go ahead and mix this, I wanted you to see that the natural color of this stuff is, oh, I guess you'd kind of call that taupe. Anyway, I'll be right back. Alright, well, I've got it all mixed up, and this is pretty much what it looks like when it's mixed up. This is the dark mahogany. It's actually, this is just stain, but the consistency of the filler is now, I'd say a thin pancake batter. Kind of between pancake and crepe. So let me go grab the radio, clean this up real quick, and then put some on. Okay, so here we go. I'm gonna dump some of this out. Well, I guess I should have got a spoon. Yeah, let me do that. I'll be right back. Alright, so what I'm going to do here, I did go ahead and tape it off, so guess I'm doing it with my right hand. So this stuff is a little thinner. I don't have to, or I shouldn't have to squash it in quite so much. Oh, good thing I put down paper. Alrighty. Interesting, I've always thought of, I guess, mahogany is red, but right here, I don't want this to go over the edge. Oops, which it's doing. I think I brought extra rags. So, what I'm going to do here is just go ahead and mix this in and let it sit. I say 5 to 15 minutes, so I am rubbing this in a little bit here, just so I don't know if you can hear me. If I'd shut up, maybe you could. No. How long will I leave this on? Now, since this is mahogany, I might have to hit it twice. This, but let's see how that does. So maybe the back will get filled in a little bit. Usually better at this stuff with my left hand. I can already see, supposedly you can too. Right. Like I said, they say to leave it 5 to 15 minutes, and it is kind of warm. It's probably 75 in here. Really feels like gel stain. Alright, I'm going to let that sit. For 5 minutes. I guess what we're doing is waiting for it, like the rest of them, to cloud up a little bit, which it's already starting to do. So, well, I'm just going to sit here all night if I don't stop. Alright, I'll be right back. Alright, I have left this on there for 15 minutes. And by the way, you should use gloves with this. But I'm not. So what I'm going to do now is rub this off against across the grain. Like it says, and I am not using burlap in this case because the last couple of times I used burlap, it was pulling off the, or it was pulling the grit out of the pores, and so someone suggested to go ahead and use cotton rags, which is what this is. You know, the bag of rags, you get it Home Depot, whatever, the big box store. Alright, so since I've got these streaks here now, I'm just going to very lightly go here with the grain. Get those out of there. Not too hard, because this is where I was getting into trouble, I think, with the burlap. And there's a little bit of overage there, so now what I need to do is let this dry. Now I'm noticing, I'm sure you can see it probably better in the camera. I wondered about this when I did when I was doing this the sanding. I noticed that the veneer wasn't completely level. It had a little high spot there. So I think what I'm going to do here is, I think I'm going to see, I can't get this. Let's take up some stain. While I'm just rubbing this in real quick, I want to talk about what I want to do with the TV. Wow, my brain is not working today for a Monday. Shoot. Anyway, it's that big TV I was working on. The Hoffman. Thank you. So I think what I want to do with the Hoffman, and I'm going to test this. I want to try to see if I can make it look really good. And so what I want to do with that is I'm going to test it on some scrap birch I have. Birch veneer plywood. Anyway, I'm going to leave that for a few minutes. Anyway, I'm starting to babble, but I guess I'll show that up in another video. But what I want to do is I want to dye it red, and then I want to fill it with something even darker than this, so that the grain is really, really dark. Although maybe this is pretty dark. Anyway, so I'm going to let that sit, and then what I'm going to do now is this has got to dry overnight, and we're going to see what it looks like after it's dry. And I have to give it a quick sand. And I'll be using a steel wool, actually, because I want the steel wool. Steel wool makes little U-shaped grooves, where sandpaper makes V-shaped grooves. And with the U-shaped grooves, the light refracts a little differently, so you get a little more depth, I guess. Anyway, so I'm going to just mess with this, see if I can get that part to stain a little bit, and then I'll be back in the next segment.